Good evening. You're tuned in to Spotlight on MX24. I am Nuong Falong. Successive governments in Ghana have consistently prided themselves over interventions aimed at overhauling the creative industry and putting it on a steady path of prosperity. For some reason, stakeholders of the industry also consistently lament the stunted fortunes of partakers of the industry. Today on Spotlight, we are asking questions about the state of the creative industry in Ghana. We have two keen minds in the studio to speak to the issues that we have. Before we meet them, we're going to go for a quick break. During the break, we'd like you to join the conversation. We want to carry you along. Please go to all our social media platforms: Facebook, MX24GH, Twitter, same handle, MX24GH. We are also on YouTube. We know you have contributions. We know you have opinions, and we want to hear them. The phone lines will also be open later. In the meantime, stay with us.
No, this is not business as usual. This is a different kind of business. From the global stock market, to our central bank, to insights on insurance and investment, Spotlight is a show for you. Here, we look beyond the numbers. On Spotlight, we'll tell you the complexity behind the figures. On Spotlight, we examine hardcore financial issues. Join me, Philip Nanfuri, on MX24, together with policymakers and experts as we talk business.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us on MX24, your home for fun, fearless, and factual content. Today on Spotlight, we're discussing the creative industry in Ghana, the state of the creative industry in Ghana. And I mentioned before, if you're tuned in, we want to hear from you. Join us on Facebook at MX24GH and have your voice heard. We have in the studio George Bosompim. He's a lecturer, a veteran actor himself. He's also a lecturer at NAFTI and the PRO of GAFTA. With him is Mark Okreku Mante. Doesn't need much introduction. Mark is the president of the Creative Arts Council. He's also here to speak to some of the issues. Gentlemen, welcome to Spotlight.
Thank you.
Over time, a lot of governments have insisted that they have put in specific interventions to ensure that there's some progress within the creative arts industry, As someone who has been part of the industry for many years, what would you say the problem is? And this is your question, Mr. Bosom.
Solutions.
What do we need to be solving within the creative arts industry? What do we need to solve?
Okay, all my years in the industry, what I've always spoken about is about structures. You know, we need structures, and of course, gradually we're building the structures. So I can talk to something like film, where I've been at the forefront lately. For the past, I think from 1996, when the Ghana Film Industry Corporation was sold or went into PPP, basically because of the Malaysians that came in 1996. So it was even handed back to us when the NDC decided to just give it back again in 2011. We have gone through that struggle of trying to put in kind of a structure which must be based on law. And so that's how come we went for the Classification and Development of Film Act, which was passed in 2016. Now, after passing that bill into an act, then we needed to establish the National Film Authority, which was then, it was established just barely almost a year ago by His Excellency the President, which is a good thing that he did. Now, my problem with that is that even in the establishment of the National Film Authority, where are the resources and the structure within the National Film Authority for us to work? You understand? Because you can't just put an agency there or an authority there, and then you appoint the executive secretary, you appoint the governing board, and then there are no administrative staff. So within our
So you think it's understaffed?
It's understaffed, but the structure is not there because it's just a structure of you have an executive secretary, you have a governing board, and then they come in and they do a small committee with the classification, which is a major committee in the thing. They create that one, and then they jump from that one and go and do the content, local content committee, which within the scheme of things is not even in our law. It's in the broadcast bill, which has not been passed. You see, so priorities and those things are part of it. And the other thing is that structure, in terms of, for instance, if you have an executive secretary, you should have deputies. We did the organogram for that. 2 executive secretaries, the deputies, and then the directors, there's a legal department, a archival department, a whole lot of things that have to be put in place within that structure. You understand?
So the issues are more structural than foundational.
Yes, if it's
the foundation is there.
Good. If you get the structures right, then you have a solid organization there. Then they can work for the people. So we know who to go to at what time. If, for instance, I want to deal with some international production coming in here, then I know who to go to. Where do I get my clearance from? Today, as we sit, the law have come into being, so all these things have been passed on from one institution to the other. For instance, the Ministry of Information and ISD, they were giving clearance. Now it has come to the National Film Authority. Today, if you ask me, where do you go and look for clearance? No one knows.
Do you see any real political commitment? Let's look at previous government.
I think we have always been an afterthought.
You think the industry has been an afterthought? Why do you say this?
I'll give you historical. 96 when they sold the thing, took us 30 years before we got a bill through. We had the thing signed November 2016. Then this was going out of power. Huh? Same thing, we went run. When did they form the National Film Authority? Just a year ago. You understand? Now let's even look at the school bits where they said, oh, they want to do these creative schools and those. Look at the timing that they do those kind of things. And when it gets to the election, they do that kind of thing.
There's also a bill in the works.
And then today we are working on the industrial, the creative industry thing. That's where the two of us came from. Why did we wait up to this time?
So you think both parties
always
waited to the last minute?
They wait to the last minute because we are an afterthought. Now they need us. They need us for campaign. They need the numbers. I'm not sure.
Mark, you are president of the council.
Yes.
He is saying they have always been an afterthought.
Yeah.
He has given examples to prove it, not just finding the NDC culpable, but also.
I am not sure it is so. Last year, when the GTA board, here my GTA, NFA,
December 30th.
yes, December 20th.
30th.
30th.
Yes.
Okay. So when that happened, it was 20th. Let's check again.
Just 30th.
30th I was in Ghana. When it was done, I wasn't in Ghana.
Okay, whatever. But
Yes,
it's on December.
yes, yeah. So it happened in December. Yeah.
December, yes.
And it wasn't close to election, but there was a commitment to do it. So it had to happen. And that is why there wasn't any budget for them to even run through
a commitment without an execution.
Because countries, the governance or any form of organization plans ahead, a year ahead. And so they were not in the plan as at last quarter last year.
They were not in the plan, which feeds into his submission that they are after.
Maybe I'm using a business term. If you in another word for budget is plan.
Okay.
It's not as explicit as that, but business people, when they say budget, it is plan, or plan is budget.
So they were solidly in your plan.
So when they were doing the budget, at the time there was no NFA. So you cannot go and say we are doing a budget for NFA. Everybody will ask, where is the NFA that you are budgeting for?
Okay, let me interject.
Okay.
Before then, the 2019 budget, we had gone to lobby for the 2019 budget to include the National Film Authority and even generally the creative industry, which appeared in the budget of 2019. So if we were not in the plan, then when again? Because our name was there, they allocated money
Mark,
for
is
the
there,
creative industry.
Is there any specific
and
example?
And that was basically about the first time that we actually appeared in black and white. Because they would just throw it in there. But that one was there because we went there.
They're going to pass your...
Yes.
or inaugurate your board.
If you check from the budget, you see that it was there. It was there.
Mr. Bosopim, let's allow him to
and
respond.
because we went to the minister with our ministry. At that time, it was Captain Afiku.
Okay.
We went there to talk about all these things. If you ask BB Bright, he represented your organization. Everybody was there. And they told us, go and bring us a long-term plan, a short-term plan, and a medium-term plan. And we went to sit down, did all that, and submitted it. And then they put us in the budget.
So they've been present and well acknowledged.
Yes.
How much were you allocated?
I've forgotten. I can't that one. I don't want to make any commitment. That,
Is there anything we can point to that shows, from the side of the council, that shows a commitment that isn't an afterthought to the industry?
Okay. One, there's every industry. We can't pretend that our industry is that old, like maybe agric or education. It could happen that people have tried. It's not. It could. That was a situation. Almost all of us came into this industry as capitalists, who had passion and wanted to do something, and we started our things in our own small way. As you see on TV, people saw.
So you think the industry is still maturing?
So we are relatively still young in the eyes of state governors, because until a few years ago, I was telling somebody just before we entered here, this place, that some of us started radio panditing or TV panditing for entertainment. When I was growing up as a little boy, we didn't have entertainment shows that we were even discussing what was happening. So I started this whole thing, panditing, and this is what has given us the spotlight. This a few years ago, some of us started, spotlight. A few years ago, some of us started doing politics through arts, and that is how both parties saw that these people are calling our attention. Nobody was talking about arts, and so we are relatively young, and that is why it looks as if we are crawling in the space of governance. But
can I correct that?
Sure.
In 1948, that's when film started in Ghana, basically with the training and African people going into film. Between that period and
before independence,
and between that period and 1957, they set up the Ghana. We had the Gold Coast Film Unit, and then they set up the Ghana Film Industry Corporation, which was so from that 1957.
Clearly, the industry is older than
I'm
this
just
country.
I'm just trying to put it in the perspective.
Sure.
1957. From that time up to the time that they put the place on diversity, government used to resource them, and they did things for government. They all the I told you so and all those things, the Cocoa Equafo check and all those things were done by these people, and the government that were putting them in the budget already.
Right.
Yeah.
Mr. Bosopim has established his point very clearly, which is being an afterthought. Now, what is the council doing to ensure that the problems of the industry are at the forefront of government's intervention?
I think that now both or most of the parties, now you hear even some of the young independent parties mentioning creative art in their manifesto.
Okay.
It wasn't like that. Years ago, it was difficult to hear that politicians would campaign and make creatives a big deal in whatever they were going to talk about. Now, both parties or most of the parties know our challenges. It's mentioned the structures, the fundamentals.
Is it because they've been very politically vocal, or this is something that you genuinely realize?
Just like what we are doing now. Somebody is watching somewhere. Now, social media, you see stuff on creatives. Now, and when we came in Creative Arts Council, originally it was just music film. Now you see fashion, now you see fine art. Everybody is showing his or her face that we are also part of your industry.
So you think the industry is gaining prominence?
Yes.
A lot of people think that for the same reasons that he mentioned about it being an afterthought, there should be a whole industry, a whole ministry dedicated to that. Is this something you agree with?
See, my little experience, it is easier said than done. It is very easy to say we need this, we need that.
But do you think the industry
needs
it?
He's even talking about budgets for just NFA. And now you are saying that they should give you a full ministry. You know how long that is going to...
It's actually in the NDC manifesto.
Okay. That's what I said, easier said than done. Do you know how workforce, resources as in money, the workforce, the house or the building, assets that you need before you get people in office structure and all of that? And if you work with government or states things a bit, you see that things that in the private sector, they can happen in weeks, will take years.
It takes a long time. Is that what has delayed the bill?
That is their culture. No, as for the bill, when you go to parliament, they speak a different language.
Which
Cabinet.
It's not English?
The language is law. The language is law, irrespective of how you feel. Your feelings don't count. It is in the law.
Some people think the council hasn't pushed hard enough for the bill.
Oh,
that one I can defend them somehow, because you see, ours took 30 years. Theirs have taken 5 years. So you can compare.
Doesn't mean this is going to take. Doesn't mean we should expect it to take another 25 years.
No, they want to pass it before Saturday. That's why
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
And do you think it's being rushed for political expediency?
No, I do not think so. You know, President Akufo-Addo is very passionate about creative arts, and that is why his daughter works with us. I used to, as a young DJ, when I was growing up, I was a DJ.
Is she herself passionate about creative art?
Yes, she's the one in charge of most of the drawings you see at the interchanges.
I see.
Yes, the artwork you see, she's the one in charge. Anytime I went to spin or play at a party in President Akufo-Addo's house, then a lawyer, if he comes back from work, he doesn't go to his bedroom.
So you say the president is very passionate about the bill, passage of the bill?
You wait, let me.
Trying to say that the president is passionate about music and all that.
Yeah, he's played around. He knows a lot of people in the art before he became a president.
That one I can attest to that, because, for instance, Back Home Again, which was directed by Zoko, and the late Bob J, we are going to celebrate him in December.
Oh,
he put money in there as an executive producer.
President?
Yes.
First time, I didn't know. Yeah.
So
he's played around these people or us for
quite
a long time.
while.
Yes. And then I think that he's thinking with Bruce's ego. Because he gave us his word. He said all sort of things about the bill.
He made a promise to the people. He made a promise.
And don't forget,
that has tarried.
He's the first political figure who called us into a meeting and sold his political concept to us 2008, and said that when he gets the nod, he has plans to make us better than we are.
Mark, when should we expect the bill?
I can't tell. I've told you that Parliament, the language is different from what we speak outside.
Some people think the bill will be passed within the next few weeks, within the next few days. What's your projection?
I can't tell.
Saturday, next week, next month?
I can't tell. I started saying this like Christ was coming about 4 years ago.
Mr. Bosompem, what do you think about the delay of the bill?
I think it was rightfully so. We needed to scrutinize it, and even today, what happened today, you know. And my only accusation, I mean, if we look at it from that, it's the fact that there was that kind of how do you call it? I don't know how to even term it. The manner in which the energy we put in at the beginning and how it went so fast, where it got to, I thought that a little bit of transparency could have helped, would have cleared this thing. Because even why we met today is based on that fact that most people have not seen the final draft.
So you think if there's the will?
So when they saw it, they realized that, oh, it's just like what we had already planned. Just that the things that have changed, if you look at even wedding, most of the wedding have not changed. The only thing that have changed is, for instance, we are talking about the creative industries rather than creative arts, you know, and a whole lot of few weddings, and then the structure of the agency. You know, what is an agency? What is a council? Yeah. Now we're moving from a council to, these are the things that we're going to sort out today. And of course, once the president put that thing on it and said that this is under a certificate of agency, you should understand that once it's under certificate of agency,
how soon do you think the bill will be passed?
I think before this parliament, I mean, round up their business.
Parliament rises.
Yeah, before, I'm sure they will pass it. I mean, he's scared to say it, but I'm saying it.
Is that you mean? Are you saying when you say he's scared to say it? So, but you are not scared.
Yeah, because when I'm not a politician, they are the politicians.
Okay, when is the bill going to be passed? Is it Saturday? Is it next week? Is it next month?
I'm hoping that it's passed before they go on recess.
Before they go on recess?
Yes.
Will it be passed before Saturday?
No, they could go and come back, because they can go for that bit and come back. I think they would actually rise somewhere this month, but not immediately.
Okay.
Why
do you think
going next week?
And then come back.
And come back.
Yeah, they'll come back.
Yes, they'll
When
come
you
back
say
after election.
They'll come back after election.
Great.
So they can even pass it
But when
before-
you mention a certificate of urgency,
Yeah.
why would the bill, after being delayed for a while, be put through a certificate of urgency?
It
Is this
means
to
that they-
appease the industry?
Well, that one is Mark who can talk about that. I can't talk.
Mark,
I don't know the political bit of it.
are the politicians trying to appease the industry by putting the bill
No,
through
like I was telling
urgency?
you that you didn't allow me land. A president who has sold his concept to the industry for over how many years? He went First World War, he didn't win. Second World War, he lost. Third World War, now I have the power. 4 years, I said, I just what I want to do for my industry to make a statement that I stand by my word. And now, for almost 4 years down the line, I am still not. And Honorable Sechemes, I mentioned it my last time in Parliament that we keep asking for this bill, but we were not forthcoming. And it was because between cabinet and Parliament, a lot happened. You are, for the cabinet person, it's fine. It goes. They say no, Attorney General, bring it back, to and fro, and all of that. And so it took us a long time. And industry people too, some of them were complaining that they hadn't seen it. So originally it was a council, and it was because Attorney General had said that you cannot say you want support from government, as in government should finance you, and then you want to run a council. Government doesn't work like that. Government monies don't go for free like that. It goes to places that he has 100% or government has 100% controls over it, accountability and all. But if it's a private sector like Creative Art Council, government can come back to you and say, come and account to me. So then it must change to a council, an agency or an authority. Then government knows that even if I go to Parliament and promise that I am giving the creative arts industry 10 million cedis, and I make sure I monitor, evaluate, and make sure that it is used for whatever, then it is fine. So we've been going back and forth with this until as for me, I've known it was going to change to an agency. I've said it several times in some of my interviews, but until a few days ago that some of our friends said they wanted to see whatever before we can lay it in Parliament.
Mark, beyond the bill.
I want to say something. You see, I've come to analyze the whole thing and realize that the council thing was nothing but it's just a name. What was involved was the structure. It was not the name council. Otherwise, there won't be British Council, there won't be the British Art Council and the rest. Sure. You understand? So it was the structure. The structure was the private and public, that kind of thing. So it was a structure.
Yeah.
That's why they didn't want to make, but it's not about the name.
No, it's not about the name. I'm talking about the fact that governments cannot give money to private sector. Good. And if it's a council, it is seen more of a private sector.
No, the council that would couch. The council that would couch had that.
Yes.
Because if you go to the UK, it's not the same.
I understand.
Yes. What we used to even have here,
yes.
the Arts Centre,
yes.
The Art Council and things.
Yes. So per our council.
Right.
Now,
yes. Per our council. Yes. The content or the detailing was more of quasi government, quasi or private, which government or Attorney General wasn't comfortable with. So he had to change to.
Let's look beyond the bill.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of welfare issues where older creatives are concerned. Consistently, we have them in the news often struggling through one financial issue or the other. What is the plan to put the industry or participants into a formal pension scheme? Is it also because, does it show that the industry is not formalized? That's why we don't have industry members on these kind of schemes.
Yes, if you go through what we have now as the agency document, it says that no one can operate in the creative space without having identified or registered with the creative agency,
okay,
or art agency, depending on what will finally come out. Yeah, we don't know yet. So, which is a good thing, because I came as a music producer with no one regulating me. So I learned the hard way. I did all the wrong things the hard way and learned over time. And that is why you hear some of the songs and some of the films, people do things anyhow. So now, if we have the data, because everybody must come through that agency, then, which we've started already, we have meetings with Glyco. They said they have a package for us. Then, as part of joining the agency, you have a policy by default, which is something small that you contribute. and then it guarantees you your pension, sort of. Because for now, it is very informal, and so if you are not someone who, even if you go to school, they teach you that insurance is an unsought product. People don't want it. Even rich people, a lot of them don't want insurance. Then you say a poor person, you want to sell insurance. I mean, you're talking about tomorrow, you know. But if we make it such that you don't feel it by how you even pay, how you get yourself involved in an insurance scheme, you don't. It's like almost intangible. You don't feel the whole process. Then people come on board, so you don't find old people coming around saying that he was a big star in the 70s and now he's broke and all of that. The insurance will already be in the system by the fact that you've come to register. It caters for you. Yeah.
Mr. Bosumpim, he's raised something important about the industry not being very formal.
Yes.
How worthy are participants of government expenditure when they're not formal enough to even be contributing to tax?
I think we're discussing that today, and I'm always for that.
Yes. Because if it's not formalized, it shows that there's a leakage over there.
He knows my stand on that.
Yeah.
I think we have to formalize our industry. Okay. You know, so for instance, when they brought the money and they said they're going to give it to the money through the NBSSI, I said the same thing. Look, they said, oh, some people don't have TIN number, so we have to wait and let's just give it to them. I said no. This is the opportunity to get them, all of them, to get their tax number. You understand? It's very, very
because
important.
they are making a lot of demands of government, government, but they are not contributing their part to national revenue. If government is going
to give you money, how much does it take to get a thing? You know, the tax identification number.
It's very easy.
It's very easy. So guide them. And that's, you see, the other thing that we also have to look at, see, that thing where we think that, oh, I'm an independent business, I'm alone, let me just do my own thing. It's bad.
So you think wages should be paying tax?
Yes. But if you don't pay tax, whose money should come and pay tax for you?
Does he think?
Well, I mean, by law, everyone who works makes profit.
You know, so my thinking is that the associations and guilds should be strengthened as well. Because there are people who are closer to them, and they should educate them on all these kind of things.
Can you say that's a failure of the industry also? Because they also have to be doing their part.
It's not a failure of the industry. It's a failure of the system, as in the governance of this country. It's not only the creatives.
Individuals within. Okay,
no, it's not only the creatives, because if the structures are not there.
We can say that, okay, the GRA also has
some faults over there. If the structures are there, all these things will be checked. So, for instance, even contractual things that we do, how many people go and act for people and get a contract? How many people go and work for people and get a contract? You understand? Now, if you go through the classification, you have to have a contract before you bring your film. And so, we are curing the thing based on those kind of things. And so the allies and all those things come in there and come and fix some of these things. You understand? So I'm just saying that, yes, you're talking about the formal thing. I believe in that formal thing. But how do we do it? It's by virtue of these associations and guilds. Educate them, empower them, and they will teach them. So as soon as you even become a member of an association, you're going to get your TIN thing number and bring it. It's part of your application. So for instance, I'll give you an example. The Directors Guild of Ghana, which I'm a member of, one of the oldest the guild. When you want to become a member of that, you have to prove that you're a director. How do you prove that you're a director? Bring your shooting script, bring your script, and bring your film. You can't just tell me that this is your film and you just go and put some credit at the end of it, and you understand. So when we see those things, then we know that you become a distance. So because of that, some people said, we won't join the group. They won't go and form their own. But we came to inherit it from the Abequays and this thing. And that's how they did it, because that's the international standard. You can't just say I'm a film director because your name is on the screen. It doesn't work that way. You understand? But if we don't do that, we're going to have people just running around. Everybody is a film director.
Mark, what's the council's role in this formalization process of the industry?
Okay. If we fix the top, and the bill we worked on today,
to trickle down.
If we fix the top, you cannot just even enter the industry, Keke. The system must know you. It's an ecosystem. So if the top knows you, all these groupings are offshoots of the agency. And so the moment you register you on top, we drop you down to GAFTA. We drop the other one to Musica.
Maybe 5-pack.
Or 5-pack. So everybody connects to the main top bill. And then you see things will settle.
So every participant is affiliated to some recognized body.
You can no longer do what you like. And like he said, it's not because you have a movie. Recently, a lady came to report to me that she shot a movie and someone has gone to sell to Iroko.
But do they have a contract?
Because structures don't work, ideally, Iroko should be able to find someone, whether it's NFA, that by just a mail, these are the movies we want to take within the week. These are the people who brought them certified. Do we roll with them? So yeah, it's cool. We know them. If we have them, it's on record that these are the directors, these are the producers, they are the legit owners. Work with them. But as it is now, Iroko got it, and now the owner says it's not for the person who sold it to you.
Whether she even went to the copyright to register. That's another thing altogether.
Understand?
So there's also identifying a shortfall of digitization in the industry also, because it's like it could have been easy to simply verify through a simple mail. Yeah. There are a lot of people who say that Nigeria has been able to commercialize the industry ahead of Ghana. What do you think is the reason why? Mark, before Mr. Bosompim, I see your...
it's a cultural problem we have.
Okay.
It's a mix. A mix.
But Nigerians are very cultural too, and we are both
okay, the culture is not what you think I want to say. The culture I'm talking about is we have a habit of...
Okay.
When industry person does something for me, instead of me to go and pay homage, the Nigerians, when they come to Ghana and they meet their brother Yola here, Oga, now your boy, you, in our space, the one who will hold this young man's hand and make him who he is, the next 2 days, he's just seeing him on radio or TV. So that is a culture part.
Are you saying the Ghanaian side is a little ungrateful? What are you?
It's a problem that we must work on, because you see, mentorship or leadership and followership is a big deal. When the leaders, he mentioned Mr. Abekwe because he salutes Mr. Abekwe.
Veteran.
That's why he mentioned Mr. Abekwe, correct. So people do treat people well, and they are not able to repeat the same transaction the next time. The Nigerians get that from us easily. The Nigerians get a lot of these deals from US, UK, and then the culture thing I'm talking about again is professionalism. I have a friend who is in Ghana.
Mark, let me hold you on professionalism.
Okay.
Because at this point, we have to go for a break. But we are discussing here on Spotlight the state of the creative industry in Ghana. Our phone lines are open, 020-473-8481. We also have 055-033-1511. Our WhatsApp line is 059-289-6001. If you're listening on social media, MX24GH on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, also on YouTube, please leave us your comments. Also, feel free to call into the program. We're presently discussing how Nigeria has been able to commercialize the industry ahead of Ghana. We're going for a quick break. When we return, Spotlight continues.
World, young people like you and I are making great change.
3 presidents have been to this ungrateful party.
My cousin here wants power, but he doesn't want to get his hands dirty.
Your campaign has been saddled with a lot of issues, and it won't survive another scandal.
Is there something I should know? I want Nana gone.
She's only doing something we're all afraid to do.
Nanaba, so what kind of lessons are we putting out there for our youngsters?
Most of us don't even know what we want until it hits us in the face.
Every single time he comes around, she just turns into this emotional, wishy-washy, love-struck thing. That is exactly what she needs.
You're president for 8 years. You make me president for another 8. You rule for 16 years. You continue. What you didn't finish. Build your legacy. You have your way with me. You use me as usual.
Are you going after a man who has championed your political career to this point? A man who got you sponsors to back your ambitions?
What the hell?
Hey! Don't!
Just need to speak. It's a blatant disregard for due process, Charlotte. And I'm not having it.
No, this is not business as usual. This is a different kind of business. From the global stock market to our central bank to insights on insurance and investment, Spotlight is the show for you. Here, we look beyond the numbers. On Spotlight, we'll tell you the complexity behind the figures. On Spotlight, we examine hardcore financial issues. Join me, Philip Nanfuri, on MX24, together with policymakers and experts as we talk business.
What's up, GH? Welcome to MX Beats, your official entertainment and lifestyle home. And every single week, we bring you your favorite artists.
Say cheese, take a picture. Shag a pose, make a see, take a picture.
Indeed, we also bring you exclusives in music videos, interviews. Honestly, we have got you covered right here on MX Beats.
On this show, we help unearth new talent, write the right mix of music to boost your energy.
Big man, big things, yeah. Tim, still shoes, big things, yeah. You figure say we they come joke me as I they come my mind was plenty. Charlie.
My name is Jason Elaine.
My name is Miss Drew.
My name is DJ Vorosky, and I'm here to give you the best of music.
Welcome back to Spotlight. You're watching MX24, your home for fun, fearless, and factual content. I'm going to take the phone lines again, by which you can join us on 020-473-8481. Also 055-033-1511. We're also available on WhatsApp at 059-289-6001. Before we went for the break, gentlemen, we're discussing commercialization of the industry. And this is a global acknowledgement of Nigeria being able to so commercialize their industry that they are earning so much from it. Second to Bollywood, you were talking about professionalism before we went. How do you think professionalism, the disparity, affects Ghana and favors Nigeria?
Okay. Because they have numbers, economies of scale, they're able to sell more. And in business, the more you sell, the more financially powerful you become. And so you can invest more into technology. And when you have resources in business, it helps. And so they have an edge over us.
You think they have the advantage of numbers?
Yes.
Market advantage?
Yes, I mean, all the top... When you mentioned Bollywood,
but if the market is there, you don't tap into it. How would it? It won't benefit you.
What I say, film is music is not like that, but film is population. Music is not population.
Give me a moment.
Okay.
We have someone on the phone line, Amankwa from Accra. Hello. Hello, Amankwa. Are you there? So, Amankwa, you can call us. Amankwa, hello. We've lost Amankwa on the line, but you can call us right back. We were discussing...
Yes. I said film is population because the simple example I can give, almost all the top countries when it comes to films are populated.
Okay.
US, China,
India,
Nigeria. Some other countries are doing well.
Don't you think there should be a strategic plan to benefit from the industry or to tap into the beneficial areas?
He's here, technically. Ghanaians were doing better in movies when it comes to professionalism in the shooting and everything. But because they can shoot some, in quotes, village kind of movie, that's some cheap camera work. But I met one guy who told me that...
But we also have those kind of movies.
Yes, but the sales they will do, you can't do that sale here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so similar production will fetch more on their market than in Ghana. So you think they have do you agree with the advantage of numbers?
The advantage of numbers is always, key to this whole thing, because you want to sell to a particular population. Maybe you have a target group that you are selling your thing to. But besides that, there's a history of this whole thing where the Nigerians came in. Because we, as a country, were very good in filmmaking, and we thought that we could go beyond our borders and sell it out there. So we went to Nigeria, brought Nigerians to Ghana, produced Nigerian actors. There's a history behind it. So then when we got these Nigerians...
One Nigerian was made PD or something on Metro TV. BB Michaels was always slotting Nigerian movie constantly on television.
So I'm coming to that.
Gentlemen, sorry to cut you, but we have someone on the line who wants to contribute. Anani from Hohoi. Hello.
Yeah, hello. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you.
We're listening.
Today is my first time listening to your program or watching it. And I'm so grateful to you. Now, my question is, with my investigation, I learned Nigeria, the government, they have been pumping into the movie industry. I don't know how far that one is. And I don't know the main reason what is making Ghana government not to also pump money into the movie industry.
Are you an actor?
Please, yes. I am, please.
Right. Keep going.
So I don't know why, but looking at our story headline, as compared to that of Nigeria, I think we have educative stories and then touching stories, which, we educate the youth and then also touch lives. But I don't know the reason why the government refuses to pump money or invest into the movie industry.
Thank you so much.
So I think it's also a factor which is making our movie industry very low.
Thank you so much, Anani. This Anani is talking about low government support. But before that, we're talking about the market.
Yes, we're talking about market. It's numbers, and then we brought the Nigerians in there. The idea was to also enter into the market, which we did. But at a point in time, there are bits where they have done their cheap movies or whatever, and they bring it to Ghana. You know what they were doing? They come to the television station, because the television station started showing films, on their networks. And when they bring it to Ghana, they tell you, okay, Oga, you can show this thing. Well, how much do you want to give to me? And they give you something, anything small, 200. Right? Because they've made their numbers already, made their profits and all those already. They come into them, and then you come into your market and give it virtually for free. So yours the television station might even take and pay you a particular amount. Don't do that, And so they will take theirs. Gradually, they got into our system because already you have brought the actors, the Zakoji and the rest to Ghana to come and act within our thing. So those are the kind of things that cause some of these things. But within their market, at a point in time, they were blocking what we are doing here and sending into their market. You understand? And so that bit is what we have to look at. But all these things boil down to structures.
But they say a good student is the one who becomes better than the master.
That's true. Yes. But see, the other thing to do, we shouldn't always look at it for Nigerians, because if I tell you, my friends in Nigeria who are into film, they'll tell you how much they could have made. Piracy, all those things, because their structures is suffering as well. They also don't have a perfect structure. Yes. They don't even have what we have as a National Film Authority, the law. They tried it. It didn't work. Because some people hijacked it and made sure that the governing board and all those were their people, and the laws were written to favor some particular people. And they had to cancel it and start all over. The structures we are trying to build now, they don't have it.
Okay, so you think we have more of a robust structure to support?
No, we are now building our structures again. Okay. Because our whole structure was dependent on the Ghana Film Industry Corporation.
Right.
And so when they dismantled that, they didn't bring in any law. We had a problem. Now we have the law. But that's why I'm pushing Mark and the people with him to go and push government so that they can build. You see, the truth is that if they give us a creative, they appoint you executive secretary, they don't give you money to operate. They haven't done anything for us. That's my core problem.
Anani mentioned governments
not putting money in there.
Enough money.
The money that the Nigerians were receiving, you can go and check from them. I was on the panel of one of them. He mentioned the kind of money that they're receiving. It's peanuts in their eyes.
Right.
The other thing too is that
government is doing
that money.
The same
that money they use it to play politics.
Okay.
You understand? And we don't want that thing in our country. What we need to do is to have the film fund, a very genuine film that talks about heritage. You go and pitch, you get the money. If they have to support you 60%, they'll do that. Because that's the maximum they can support you based on the law. And because you also have to contribute. You can't just come and say that because I'm a creative person, I'm going to do this, go and put all their money. Where is your money? You're a business person. You also have to put some money in there. You understand? And so when all these structures work, we have our fund, and you can apply for the fund, because your film that you're doing is going to say something about the tourism sites and all those places that you need to national interest.
Mark, you agree with the need for the fund?
Sure. why is it that till now we don't have? We say Kwame Nkrumah is a man of the millennium, African of the millennium, and you don't have a movie on Kwame Nkrumah. It is because there's no fund that we can say whether people saw productions or NAFTI. We want to engage you. We want to give you this contract to get out that epic project. But in my experience with some of the people in Germany, Kinampao was mentioned, and they mentioned how much Kinampao got for a movie that he came to pitch, and then he was given some amount, 500,000 euro or something thereabout. I'm not so sure. I'm sorry if I misquote the figure, but they got him some Germans plus his own because he had some money too.
From
he
France,
said,
Germany,
yes,
and the US.
Yes. So Kinampao in Ghana could be a nobody to someone like you, but if you mention Kinampao in Germany, it's a big deal.
Not only in Germany, in America and France.
Okay. And he got some fund, some support to become the Kinampao he is. Because even you have that great mindset or mental picture, but you don't have the money to be able to bring that thing to pictures, it's a problem. And so we need it.
Let's look at digitization. One of the things that has held the Ghanaian industry back. Lately, a lot of countries are pushing to be on Netflix. You go on Netflix, you see a lot of productions from different countries, and these days they're taking a lot of African content. But comparatively, you don't see as much Ghanaian content on Netflix. Why is that? Why are we not taking advantage of the outside world? Because we've lamented the small market that we have. Why are we not digitizing to take advantage of external markets?
We should understand that, you see, distribution is marketing. This man is a marketing man, so he knows what I'm talking about. Distribution comes with marketing. Our problem, which we are solving gradually, is the fact that when we start planning our works, we don't even think about distribution.
Okay.
We are creative people who do not think about business. And so we are thinking about just the creative thing. Oh, yeah, then I'll use the...
So you think the Ghanaian industry players are not business-minded?
I'm saying this because of how very good films, where they end up. They do very good films and the distribution becomes a problem. Because you didn't think about distribution from the onset. That's the first thing you have to think about when you're writing your story. Now, when I went to film school, they were not teaching us the business of film. Today we are teaching the business of film.
So that's something
people understand the business bit. And so you can take somebody like Peter said here. You say that, when I did KTK, it's just an art film. It's not for the profit. You understand? So it gives him all the awards and all.
But you spent money on it.
But wait, in that same manner, he does Side Chick Gang. And he said, that is a business film. He does Away Bus. That's a business film. So he makes his money in multiples. Get his money back and get the profit and wants to go and do another one immediately.
So one for the market and one for the...
So now we have to determine whether we want to go artistic. But you have to determine, because those artistic films normally would bother on culture and those kind of things. Those ones are the ones that you get funding for the culture fund and do it.
Yes. I'm sorry, there's someone on the line. We need to... Sorry, there's been someone on the line. Hello.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Yes, from North Denchira.
Yeah, Upper Denchira. My name is Bright. I'm calling from Upper Denchira.
Hi, Bright. We're listening to you.
Okay. It's a contribution that I have. In Ghana, particularly, we prefer quantity to quality.
Okay.
So instead of someone taking time to make a movie, you just take any camera, go somewhere, catch anybody, and take 1 month to do a video or a movie. Now, I don't like doing comparison, but let's compare Ghana movie to maybe Hollywood. They will take time, about 1 month to 2 months, to train their cast. Then maybe another 2 to 3 months.
So you think we are rushing through our productions?
Yeah, we are rushing. Instead of taking time to do something quality so that it will be able to project internationally, we only think about local, only Ghana, or maybe only Africa. But if you are able to take time, put more work into the movie industry and project internationally, I think the government will be pleased to invest in...
Bright, are you a creative?
Yeah.
What exactly are you?
Okay, I create content. I'm a video editor, graphic designer.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So he thinks we are rushing through our productions. Does he have a point?
One of the problems. One of the problems is that we don't really plan the way in which other people plan. I'll tell you something. There's something that I produce, an international production that we produce in Ghana. It's called Amazing Race. When you get the opportunity, go on YouTube and watch it. We did 2 episodes in Ghana. That whole 2 episodes happened in 2 days. They were supposed to take 1 to Nigeria and do 1 here. We managed to grab it and we did all the 2 in Ghana. So they didn't go to Nigeria. Now what we did was that we made sure that we went through pre-production very well with them. You know, so we went through pre-production with them. 6 weeks in Ghana, they left. We gave them all the stories about Ghana and how we can fix everything. And then they gave us 6 weeks to prepare before they come for that 2-day shoot. And that 2-day shoot, when at Labadi Beach at the time, they had just come up with it, and we took an office. We took a storage for all our things and all those things. Stayed there 6 weeks to just plan for that thing that we were coming to do for 2 days.
I apologize for cutting in. There's someone who's been on the line from BBNE. Hello? Gideon. Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening, Gideon. We are listening to you.
Please don't cut a creek when he's talking. He's really my mentor, and I really like what he's saying. So please let him understand.
Oh, Kreku fan club, we hear you.
And also, I want to say that the Nigerians, okay, their market, their population is like 5 times ours or 10 times if I shouldn't say. Okay, so mostly they have the market as like my boss said. But on Netflix and all other platforms, it's really hard to find our movies. We shoot the best content when it comes to comedy, too drama. Our actors and actresses are fantastic. But we don't push our content enough. And people expect government to turn money into the industry. Yeah, we agree. But remember, this is a private sector business, and it's not a government-owned entity. Government doesn't go into businesses that he won't benefit. Definitely. Okay, that's why government doesn't pour money into the creative art industry, because at the end of the day, the government should sponsor a movie, and it's not on Kwame Nkrumah or how we are colonized and all of that. We don't even have movies on that, so it's hard to tell the story. I don't even know our full story of colonization.
Thank you so much.
Apart from the one I read in
Thank you so much.
We don't have a movie on that. We don't have a movie on Kwame Nkrumah. We don't even have a movie on Kuchiana.
Thank you for your contribution.
Yeah, but
thank you for your contribution.
It's about government putting money in there. Government should have to put money in there. You know why government have to put money in there?
Tell us why.
If they're going to project you as a country of witchcraft people with this, you are happy to sit down and then that's the PR you're sending out there. And so government have to put money in there. That is how come the UK government use lottery money for all these kind of things. You understand? And they put a percentage there.
So you think it's PR
otherwise, don't
for
put
the
even
country?
in the US, where is the private thing, where we talk about the Warner Brothers and all those people. Do you know where they came from? When to 2000, the meltdown that happened in the 1920s, government gave them money. Recently, when Obama came and they were listening, they gave them money. So you can't say the government will not shouldn't put money because it's a private. I understand what he's talking about. That business bit and those things. But when the need be for government to put in money, they have to put in there. Even the structures they are building for us, it's money. If they give us the right structures, they might not have to come and put in that big money in there. But the fund has to be there. Look, if you go to, I went to school in the UK. When there are opportunities that we can have as a student even in the UK, you don't have it in Ghana. The competitions that they organize, it's government money. So skill set, skill set will come and they will say that, okay, this school, we are organizing this particular competition. How many people can write this story? How many can do this short film? And they'll compete among themselves. The boroughs, different universities in different boroughs will compete among themselves and they'll do that. And they started from the secondary school level. So people are interested in the creatives. It has to do with art, it has to do with writing, poems, music, all those things happen from that end. So government have to put in that thing. Otherwise, then you kill the industry because at the end of the day, everybody at all can just jump into it at any time. Oh, I'm just interested and go and do it.
Give us a second. There's someone on the line from Takwa. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, we're listening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Pachotwaso. Yo, what's in there? You put them in there. When the Ghana from na year, you keep your rush too much. Your rush was from na year.
Okay.
You too off a camera. No way could they didn't have on for bed 8. Choo, no way to camera, no way to come. No, what I have from.
Into a pedal or take your time.
First, it's no concert, no work from acting. But this I have a walk there, or your concert in the year for me. Concert in the year for me, you die and that's from.
Okay.
And I do your original from acting now, or the you see about 2 years or 3 years, into the film that you show your locations, them one, the man, them or by your need, end.
Patroya Dasipa, Dasi Baby, for your contribution. Thank you so much. So he's speaking to the aspect of spending more time in production. He thinks we rush the movies quickly. And when you rush, Please go ahead.
But more than that, concert numpo. Actually, maybe today I told you so. No, yeah, concert group. No work for no way film. This is 1969. I was released in 1970. Now, them film no. Actually, since I'm poche. Yes, them film. Biya holidays. Normally, Independence Day. No, daba. Ni ashe. But I call a concert. It is all boils down to planning. Because a very relevant, very to our.
So if we plan it properly, we will have the quality that we need.
Them concerts for now are the people who came gradually to become stars. You see, and some of us went through the same kind of thing. I started on stage before I came on television. I didn't just appear on television. That gradual process now, actors now, even the people who are behind the scenes, no, they are not passing through that system.
Let's take another caller. There's someone on the line from Tamale. We have lost him. Do call back if you're still listening to us.
Right now, who is the hottest Akan or Chi actor?
Well, I think they have different, depending whether it's comedy or...
I want to use this to buttress his point. It's Acrobato.
Okay.
He's from stage, concert. And he's evolved.
So you have to go through a process.
That's what he's saying.
I'm not saying that people don't sit at the feet of people to even learn to move up. And then when they talk about that respect of the old ones, we all went to say that, look, everybody, if we look at my group of people, and where we all came from, everybody had somebody to mentor. Somebody mentored you. Me. Today, if everybody talk about film, it is Atuyani, the late Atuyani. I sat at his feet. And he introduced me to Kwanzaa, this person, And he told me the philosophy that I built was around what he imbibed in me. And that is. And so when you know all those things, it gives you that history and gives you a direction where to go.
Direction.
You understand? Yeah. And that's very, very important. As we talked about this street thing, it's interesting because I'm on the committee for the Oscars. Last year, we managed to submit a film at Oscars. Did anybody come and praise us and say, oh, Ghana for my idea, some film I call Oscars? Nobody mentioned that to us.
No, we did. I heard about it.
But if it failed, the Nigerians failed. Big in the country. They failed. They went to bring some pidgin things, 80% English. Because they couldn't follow the rules.
I think now they're pushing for pidgin to be recognized as a foreign language.
You see, our biggest bane, not only with Ghana, it's an African thing. We think that everything should be, this thing is down the green. Oh, anywhere near green is fine. That is our problem. And we don't even read details to say that, because every festival comes with its own kind of regulations. It's the same way that we need to get these regulations and all those things. When people follow those things, we have standards. Now we've opened the Oscars. We just opened it last week. I had 3 calls. People should go and make, because this is an advantage to us, because it is in your own dialect, your own language. If it's Chigan, Eve, Dagomba, the films that you've made in that language is what you have to bring. As for the standards in terms of the technicality, that now it's even easier to achieve it. Why? Because when you pick a small camera, it's shooting on 4K, it's the kind of aspect ratios and all, they're all the same. Because truth is that when it comes to the technique of film, what is a close-up in Ghana is a close-up in Accra, in America. The same close-up is in the UK. The
technicalities are the same.
And so that's how come some of these things like what we are trying to do with the industry, the laws and those things have to come into being, because they thought that we could just bypass that. Many years ago, a group of people thought that, now there's a book long. Today, we've come to realize that all those things have to come into being for us to survive. Otherwise, we can't compete.
Mr. Bosompem, talking about putting all these structures in place, you have listened to the NDC's manifesto, you have listened to the NPP's manifesto. Which of them do you think speaks directly to the industry's needs?
I think all of them speak to the industry's needs, but except that the NDC didn't put, the MPP didn't put so much details in there. And the NPP...
What do you mean they didn't put much detail?
NDC gave it more details than they have. I assume that because they are in power and they think they've done so many things and that they can talk about it. But you see, it's a different ball game altogether when you've done a lot of things and you can't even communicate it to the people. Because you need to communicate to the people for the people to see that this is what you have done. The NDC had they've written a lot of descriptions and something simple that the people, anybody who left it can understand. You understand? But on the other side too, they have also rating.
Before we go, you are advocating for the opening of the cinemas. A lot of how is the closure affecting you?
Oh, a lot. He knows, because you can't even look at aloe vera. Aloe vera came in March. As soon as he did a premiere, they shut down the thing.
But this is COVID
and you know how much money
protocol.
went into that thing? The man built a whole set, took land, built a whole set on the land. It's a lot of money. So if he had borrowed that money, let's say $400,000, and he used in doing that kind of thing, where is he going to make his money from? Now look at all the political events and all those things happening in those spaces. We could have used it to show films.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bosompem. Thank you very much, Mark Okweku, for coming